Common question, common topic. Maybe you haven't heard about this before, but it's a big one in both of our worlds. It's called a pre-existing condition or a pre-existing injury. So what do you see regarding that? First off, what is it and how does it affect things?
So from a legal perspective, in me handling a client's case, everybody has pre-existing conditions. If you are alive, you have a pre-existing condition. That's what I always say. Insurance companies will use that as a very easy excuse to say your neck hurt before, now your neck hurts after this car crash, and therefore your neck injury cannot be related to this car crash. It was related to a pre-existing condition. Just because you have a pre-existing condition doesn't invalidate an injury that you received in this car crash.
Yeah, that's a great point. So that's something that we deal with all the time. Many doctors don't properly diagnose problems to begin with. So let's say in the case when someone was diagnosed with a neck problem before, what was their diagnosis before? Did they say they have arthritis, osteoarthritis, so slight decreased spacing of a disc, maybe a little change in bone quality, maybe some bone spurs somewhere? It's figuring out what exactly was the diagnosis, because I can tell you when we see patients, we are going to diagnose them so in depth down to not just the level, but the exact ligament that is likely compromised based on these special tests that we do. Challenging movement, stressing movement, that's really how you figure out what's going on. But the pre-existing conditions, when it comes to the spine, I can tell you that's very easy to counter because, like I just said, oftentimes they're not properly diagnosed previously. It's a very generic, broad diagnosis before. If someone had a previous issue, but it wasn't active and they weren't seeking care for it and it wasn't problematic at the time, and then they got in a car wreck and they got traumatized in that area, yeah, could definitely be weaker, which means they could have a more massive injury, which actually just puts more support on the patient that they're more injured.
Right.
They need more care, they need more compensation, they need more everything because they were less resilient than someone else who had never had that before, right?
Right. And so instead of a pre-existing condition being a negative, it explains so much more about why the injury that you sustained in this crash is that much worse, and why your need for medical treatment is that much greater and your risk of having future impairment is that much greater, and therefore the value of your claim goes up.
Exactly.
So it doesn't take away from it, it explains and adds value to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Video presentation by Meridian, Idaho Car Accident Chiropractic. We dedicate our service to Meridian, Idaho, auto accident victims who have been in a car collision and have experienced personal injury. Idaho law allows motor vehicle victims to pursue personal injury claims legally, and if you are not at fault, your chiropractic healthcare is covered 100%. The doctors of chiropractic at Meridian Car Accident Chiropractic in Meridian, Idaho, are specially trained to diagnose and treat hidden injuries following a car collision. If you or a loved one has been injured in any type of motor vehicle crash, we are here to help you get your life back on track. We provide clinical, diagnostic, and treatment excellence. We accept car crash victims, whiplash injury victims, commercial truck accidents, and motorcycle accident victims. There is no fee for you, your loved ones, and your friends to seek chiropractic care at Meridian, Idaho Car Accident Chiropractic. Call now 208-581-4353 and let's get you back on your feet.